I don't know about you guys, but have you been to Amazon Fresh?
Oh my gosh.
I
Love it.
So obviously, AI, the fact that I find it weird, I still don't understand how it works, how you walk in, put
like
some
you're
stuff in your
robbing a
bag
store,
and just walk out. Like,
It's like my
walking
little
out.
kleptomaniac fix, so I'm like, they don't know what It's great that I've seen it.
but again, is that really, like, obviously we go in those stores, there's like one person working, whereas a normal store that used to have people would have like 50 people working there. So is it taking jobs from people?
Yeah, it's like how many jobs has it actually taken with these self-checkouts? Because self-checkouts are everywhere. And it's far more convenient, they're far more compact. They still make errors all the time, and then you do need a human being there to
check in,
you know. But I don't know how many jobs it's actually taken.
It is more productive, like it's taking jobs, but like, you know, 70-year-old, you know, Betty at the thing on the Aldi checkout, like, could be taking ages, and we got a queue back up there. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got 10, if you've got 10, like, if you've got 10 machines, you know, we're all quite quick, boom, 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 in and out, in and out, and out. From a business standpoint, they're like, yeah, sweet, we're getting more people, you know, there's more kind of, more sales being done. But then again, how much of the cost of what we're paying goes towards labor? But then it's like, well, if I'm doing the work, you know what I mean? If there's no labor to be done, if I'm doing it, how much of our shop, you know, of the prices in the shopping should actually be, you know, deducted? Because you don't even, if you've got 2 people in store, but you're only paying 2 people's wages, let's just say, you know? So then should we be kind of going like, hey, well, our groceries should be cheaper because, you know, they're just there. We're essentially doing the work for them.
Exactly, and personally, I'd rather be paying a person who's working minimum wage than feel I'm paying a businessman, which is kind of what it is. So poor old Betty is just at home with no one to talk to, because that might be her thing. That she goes, she knows she's working at Aldi every Saturday, and that's how she interacts with people. For a lot of...
And I think that's the question there. I want to ask each of you, do you prefer self-checkouts, or do you prefer interaction with a person when you go shopping, honestly?
1,000% I'll interact with a person. I love to have a good yap session. How was your day? What's going on? Ask me about that's great. Yeah, I'm buying cheese. That's great.
But then if you're yapping to Betty over there and I'm like, you know, I'm stuck behind you and you're going about your day, like, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but like, I don't want to hear about like your on-Scott's hamster. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to get going with my day. So that's when then self-checkout is like, okay, cool. I know I can come in. I know I've got my 10 items, boom, 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 and then I can go off like at my own pace.
So you're a self-checkout person?
Yeah. I think I see the benefit, like I really do, but I enjoy it as well.
Yourself?
I go where the queue's shortest. However, if I was feeling like a really virtuous person, I might go and speak to a person that day. You know, it depends what you're going, obviously you're going there to do your shopping, but if I had a regular, you know, I move about a lot at the moment, but if I had a regular shop, it's like I had my regular high street Pret, you know, and I became really friendly with my barista, and I like made sure I knew his name and we would chat, and I really like that. I don't think I'd like to just go into, you know, a coffee shop. I like my coffee being made. I don't want to go and get it from a machine. For example, that's where...
Well, that's a great conversation, but I think personally, superstore, like a superstore, shopping, weekly shop, I'd rather do it myself. Like, there are brands that obviously do even the conveyor belts and you can do it all yourself. However, a coffee shop, no, I don't want self-checkout, because I know I don't drink coffee, but my partner does, and she now gets free coffee because she has a relationship with the person who works there. He's like, oh, that's on the house today. You can't do that with a machine.
Then that's interesting. Then it almost comes down to like the different businesses, like ethos, like what do they want? Yeah, you know, coffee shop can use, we can use automated coffee machines, all this stuff, but no, we want that kind of interaction with the person. We want to build those human connections in the neighborhood. So we're going to actively not do it. And then it's kind of like, well, you've got X company that does use it because of, you know, and then it kind of shows, you know, which company kind of is doing what for what reason, you know?
I think we have to have both.
Some might have both, but
I think it is have both, because I think you can see with coffee shops, they haven't changed. You're not going to a coffee shop and it's just automatic. There are people there, but whereas shopping, where we're all very busy, I agree with you. Anytime I go shopping, whether it's full shop or little shop, I'm in and out.
Exactly.
I don't really, like, even when I'm working with someone, I see someone, I'm like, I really don't want you to ask how my day is. I just want to get in and go.
That's true,
And there's also people who struggle with that kind of interaction as well. So like, you might be a bit nervous to go to the checkout. So I guess you can, you know, do it at self-checkout. You've not got to interact with people. You can be on your way, and that's
like older,
that's
you know,
friendly for you.
Yeah, older people as well who like, you know, struggle with. Like my grandmother's 92 years old. Like she's not going to be going there doing stuff at a self-checkout. She almost needs a bit of that. Okay, she may not be here much longer, but like, you know, there is maybe a portion of society, or you know, that may need that human element. So then where
that
does
might be the only person they talk to the whole day.
that too as well?
But I just don't think, I think you're right, like convenience stores, I don't think that will ever change. I don't think we're going to lose convenience stores, because I think the local people will always have that convenience store where it won't be setting up a machine because they don't have the funds to be fair. If you run a little convenience store, you're not making the funds to really have, you know.
Like the little Aldi's and the Tesco's, there's
they
small,
can,
like,
yeah.
You know,
but like, you know, your corner shop, your local corner shop where you know David, who's been living there for like how many years.
But then if 10 people are going to the more efficient kind of Tesco, and then 2 people are going to the corner shop, then an AI is essentially taking business away from that corner shop who wants to say, you know, they want to stay true to who they are, but they're getting lost in the dust because the times are slipping away from them.
It's hard to say whether AI is unnecessarily replacing jobs. There's a cyclical nature to hiring and staff reduction cycles. However, we are seeing examples currently just this year of large firms who are drastically reducing their headcount amidst the AI boom. For example, Microsoft has dedicated to letting go of 9,000 of their staff. Google has promised to reduce their managerial workforce by 35%. And Tata Consultancy has already made 12,000 employees redundant. It's hard to look at that without the lens of generative AI around it and the promises that are being made as to how that will reduce the headcount costs for companies.
There are all jobs that we don't like doing. I'm sure the odd person does like doing it, but then again, it's like you take away those jobs, and what do those people do that were doing those jobs?
Good question, but I just need to get this on my chest. There's one job that I think needs to be replaced by AI, and that's the people that clean the tubes. Because it's one of the most dirtiest things in London. We all can say that's true. Yeah. But if you had an AI like super cleaning robot, I would I don't know if you ever, just after COVID, when we were sort of allowed to go out, the trains were so clean because obviously they were so scared of passing infection. I was like, no, this train has never been cleaned like this ever. This is the first time.
Yeah.
So I feel like an AI robot doing that, because let's be honest, a human doesn't want to do that. You don't want to go clean up after 2 million people have sat on that chair that day or put their food and whatever. It's not a great job. And even if you are a cleaner, and that's your job, you're still like, that's gross, you know? So maybe for that type of job, AI would be great for it.
Yeah.
But if we take Amazon, which is obviously the clear front runner of just
everything.
Yes, obviously you're not dealing with people, but I guess it has also created jobs because look how many delivery people are out there. It has to get there. I know they're starting to do
delivery bots, right?
They're doing
prison for
what's the air drones, the drones as well.
Yeah,
the drones.
Yeah.
I know that's coming, but will that? I don't know. Maybe you guys might know. Will that really take off? The whole no, excuse the pun. Drones.
The tube cleaning thing, AI might be better. Technology might do a better job. I feel like a drone looking for my door. The amount of times I have drivers being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't find it," and I have to help them find the door. What is this drone gonna do? They're just gonna buzz around by my house. They can't call me. It's there are things that we need people.
You're so right. You're so right. Because when I just moved into a new build, and a delivery guy couldn't find it, and he literally wrote in the notes, "I can't find your door. You can't live here." And I'm like, and my reply was just like, what, did they just build the apartment around me? I just don't leave, it doesn't exist. But drone or AI is not gonna find that, a new build, because it takes a while for the new addresses to update, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that would be negative to where to all of that.
I believe that AI is helping the workforce in automating a lot of the drudge work tasks that we had to do. For example, generating reports, making them centrally available to leadership, those kinds of things. As to how it's hindering the workforce, you're starting to see a lot of impact on hiring decisions based around AI.
It's interesting in terms of just how many jobs it's replacing, tech in general, and also, you know, when we look at stuff such as lawyers or surgeons, and we think in the future it possibly could replace those jobs as well as these kind of high street jobs. It's interesting, my boyfriend's sister, they've just had a baby and both of them are super educated. They have these high paying jobs and all they want is for their son to say that he wants to go into manual labor. Like they want him to say, I'd love to be a plumber. Or, you know, because those are jobs that won't be easily replaced by AI. You know, these quick, fast manual jobs that we need a human being's effort to like put into. Whereas the higher paid jobs, it may be those are the things that are going to be replaced sooner.
Even like a job with any like basic moral problem solving, you need a person for. Like there are driverless cars that you can get, like for Ubers and things. And what is the programming there? Like if you're in some kind of accident and it's like, do I hit these people over here or do I like injure the passenger and hit this lamppost here? Like how is it making these decisions?
I've seen
philosophical.
How does it have the right to make that decision?
Because I've seen these things on TikTok and stuff of the driverless cabs in America, but I've seen also the bad things of like it will think it's going to crash, but it can't work itself out to like, you know, bin day. You know, obviously all the bins are out and then people and the lorry people are coming out, stopping, and I saw a video of it and it's literally bugs out and goes, I don't know how to get around this thing because it's just there. So we're gonna always need people.
So companies are starting to see a lot of people who utilize generative AI to apply. In the case of underqualified individuals, they'll use LLMs to respond to questions during interviews and the application process, even practical skills tests. However, there are more malicious actors who are then using generative AI to generate people whole cloth. They'll show up on a video chat for an interview. It's not the actual person. It is a generative AI rendered image that you're seeing. And the answers are being fed back relatively in real time based upon the questions being asked. And these people, when they get the job, they could be doing everything from just hoping to collect a paycheck for a short amount of time until they are caught out, or they could be using that to gain access to that company's confidential information. And you'll see a lot of these users then start venturing into areas of data that they're not supposed to.
I wonder if, like, you know, we're talking about kind of AI taking over the jobs that people don't want to do. Do you think if AI does take those jobs away, do you think like society will be happier if no one's doing like the crappier jobs around?
But then what jobs are the people doing?
That's the thing, right? Exactly.
I have this big faith that if, let's take it simply, like if AI took over all cleaners, right?
Yeah.
I think then the world would just like flip back and be like, oh, actually, I do want a proper cleaner. Because you might come into work and be like, oh, actually, they haven't hit that corner.
Yeah.
I say that
AI
with a...
bot's just been walking into my wall for half an hour.
But you say that, and I say that as a person who has a robot Hoover.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
But that robot Hoover does knock over stuff. I'm like, I come back and I'm like, why is my, you know, plant pot on the floor? And it has... And so I think, yes, it will take jobs, but I feel like there's always this vicious circle where you'll figure out and go, no, that's not working. We need human interaction to do that job. And then,
if your Wi-Fi goes down, how are you going to turn off your bedroom light?
Exactly.
You're gonna have to learn that
Exactly.
And it's happened once, and I actually physically cannot turn it off. or
Like
turn
the
it
room
on
before
because
this.
it's connected to the Wi-Fi and not the power.
Yeah.
Wow. But it is that thing, is human beings, we kind of start edging towards something and then we usually go full in and then it tips too much.
Yeah.
So then hopefully in the future there will be a balance that we find, but it's just, it's how many people is it going to affect before that tips back.
I believe that the government should impose some restrictions, mostly around the use of data. One of the ethical questions around generative AI is how they get that data that they train those models on. And there's been a lot of lawsuits bandied around. OpenAI, Midjourney, Anthropic have all faced lawsuits based upon them just scraping the public internet and not really caring about the trademarks or copyrights of the data they're pulling in. Mendes faced that as well. So making sure that the people whose data, their media, whatever, is incorporated into these models get credited, get paid, compensated, those kinds of things. But also, as companies are starting to reach the end of useful life of the general internet for feeding those models, these companies are turning toward user input, user interaction, recording what we do with those models in order to train it to do more. So there's concerns around making sure we protect that under systems like GDPR or other data protection regimes.
Like the ways you can use AI become protected. Like, I mean, people are using AI just for actual crime now. Like there's like deepfake scams and things. Like you can,
Fraud
your grandma
and
might get a call with your voice being like, oh gosh, like help, I need money. And it's like, that sounds like my granddaughter. They're getting tricked into these things. Perhaps there needs to be some kind of law around AI. It can be used in these ways.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, there's governance.
AI.
Yeah, I think there is governance now. There's, you've got all these companies that do kind of fight against people using deepfakes. So it's like, when you use your Face ID, right? There's that whole process behind it and how people can't kind of replicate and take your face. Like say if you Instagram, right? So you're right, there needs to be some sort of kind of human element to be able to tell it what is and what isn't, right?
There was an example of a company in China, I believe, that someone had used generative AI to impersonate the chief financial officer and then reached out to somebody within the company and got on a Zoom call with them and said, hey, I need so many million pounds transferred out into this account. Immediately, we have to pay this vendor. And then they found out that the CFO had not reached out. That was a falsified call. And the company was out millions off of one activity, and they were not able to track down the culprit.
With that, like take Apple. We all have iPhones probably, I'm not saying, but we all probably have that. Though Apple is now huge and we have this and that item and that item and that item. However, you go to an Apple store, how many employees do they have? How many Apple geniuses do we have in the world? So we always need people because I don't know if you've gone your laptop, my laptop's stopped working. And then they go, oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah. The AI is not just going to do things itself. It needs input. We need the person.
Yeah. But then can AI fix itself?
Yeah,
well, it can update itself.
Well, that's the thing. The more you teach it, the more it learns, the more it grows.
But can it fix itself? Can it be like, oh, I sense an error and now I need to fix? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, and that's where the kind of morality clause and ethically comes into it, because there will be certain situations that we need a human being's ethical compass to kick in. The AI won't be able to outfix itself.
The ethics surrounding AI boil down to how the AI is developed, what data is it trained on, as well as how's it being used. Are people using it for disinformation, to shift public opinion, those kinds of things. And then who's responsible when AI is used in a malicious fashion? Is it just the person who utilized it, say for disinformation to change the electorate's opinion? Or is it also the responsibility of the company who produced that AI model that was then used?
Yeah, I mean, there was that guy that had used photos, just like regular photos of children online, and these were sent in by like, it was a pretty awful story, like relatives and things like that. I mean, like, here's a picture of this child, and he was creating indecent images and indecent videos of these children.
Wow.
And I mean, he's using AI to do that. AI is not able to go, this is messed up, I'm not gonna create this image. It doesn't know how to say, this is too far. He was able to make a whole business out of this until, he was found out.
Yeah.
How do we
some AI already does have that kind of like knowledge, because it takes everything on the internet and it knows what is bad and what is good, right? So if you put something into ChatGPT, then it will say, oh, you shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. But again, you can then program it to turn that off or to not do it, So the thing about AI is you can program it to do whatever you want to do. And from then on, it can then kind of run amok and then just go crazy.
We're seeing a lot of use of generative AI to attack companies and circumvent their security, because generative AI, since it pulls from such a large pool of data, it gives you the capability of writing very purpose-built attacks that can be automated. They don't require a human to be sitting there behind a keyboard hammering at keys. And it can also change its behavior based upon the context of what it's finding. And so you're seeing a lot of attacks that are not following the heuristic patterns that have been built for detection going forward in cybersecurity, which makes it a little bit difficult to adjust. However, we are able to also use generative AI to change how we detect those attacks. So while it is a large security risk, we are also able to use it to help figure out how to protect against itself.
So I think we are in a better place productively because of AI, because of tech. When you think about how many people's lives it's made better, even when we just think about disabilities, they have such a better quality of life, people with a disability compared to, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I think the downfall happens when human beings start blaming it for something that actually the human being is deciding to do. And I think we put too much emphasis on something that doesn't have a brain because it seems so lifelike. That's what's, I think, a bit terrifying about it, is that people think it's a human being almost. So I think we are in a better place. We just need to know what, as human beings, we should be using it for, and what we know is individual to us and unique about us, and that's what makes it great to be human.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes, I agree. It is making. It is. I think there'll be a nice balance. I don't know. I might eat my words, but I think we're going to live in a nice, balanced harmony, because we're always going to need human interaction. We're always going to need humans. I think we're even in a place where now people are realizing how much we love human interaction. But yes, we're always on our phones and blah, blah, blah. But nothing beats being in a room with people, because we love it. We do. Because I think actually people are getting sick of it. Just even like when you're on your phone all the time, you're like, ugh, FaceTime's great. I think it's changed the world in a sense of like, I can now talk to my brother who lives in Australia every day if I want to. However, when we see each other in person, there's no feeling like it. I think there'll just be a nice balance. I think people will always try and be like, oh, AI is ruining everything, but it's not. People will always need people. I'm a true believer in that. Whether that is true, but I don't think AI will take over, because we as people will always need other people.
A factor that the industry needs to pay attention to is actually user privacy. As I said, many more of these generative AI companies are training based on interactions with human users. And there are some companies like Meta and Anthropic who are starting to pay in for devices that pay attention to what you do and give you feedback based on that. Like they can use that for context, which means if you call your parents, it records that call. If you fill out a job application, it records that. Those kinds of concerns are being a little bit overlooked and do need to be more solidly considered by the companies that are generating these models and handing them out for usage.
I definitely agree with this idea. It's how we use it. I think there needs to be some kind of creation of rules and regulations around how AI is allowed to be used. I think it's down to the people. If you want to use it to scam or if you want to use it to straight up do criminal activity, that's down to the person as opposed to a fault in the AI. I do also think I prefer human interaction, definitely. Like, I'm not gonna switch my lightsaber to Alexa. I'm not gonna give her that kind of power in my house. But I will use ChatGPT for my emails still, because that's more efficient.
Yeah.
Again, it's that combination of knowing when to use it. I stick with saying I think it is good. It has made us more productive in the workplace, has made us more productive in society. But again, we need to be aware of how we're using it and use it in the right way. And with everything, like you said earlier, the pendulum swings one way, and I think we're going in that direction. And we need to figure out, we need to figure out where the limits are, right? That's too far there. Okay, let's pull it back there. And then once it's gone far in kind of across society, then we can gauge, the different levels of how we want to use it and where we want to use it and where it makes sense to use it, right? Because we do need that human element. It's scary, but I think we need to kind of accept that AI is here, but we are going to make mistakes along the way and things are going to go bad. But that's all part of AI developing and us understanding how to use it.
I think AI is beneficial in ways such as communication. You can communicate with different people in different ways. And more importantly, it's here to solve problems that humanity has failed to solve over the years.
Obviously, AI can be good in some aspects. For example, voice navigation. It can help people with disabilities and stuff like that. But then also some people take advantage of it, like university students use ChatGPT to answer all their assignments.
A bit of both. So AI is really useful. I utilize large language models for work, for socializing, things of that nature, to get information. But I also think there's a huge environmental impact. The data centers used to power those large language models require a lot of energy, a lot of water, and that is an impact that needs to be taken into account. We can't burn through the world's resources just to maintain a human life.
I found it really helpful in my day-to-day life as a teacher and as a mum in my house, but I know the downsides to it. I think it can be used for child abuse. It can be used to recreate people's images in different likenesses. It can be used to remove people's clothing and used as, abuse. Adult abuse as well as child abuse. So it has wonderful positives, terrible negatives, so I say both.